Good morning, good afternoon. Yesterday, tomorrow, God knows when it will be. While I'm kicking the bucket, you'll be able to see me. I won't be able to see myself. This is Sunday morning conversation, and don't expect the typical crap that you get in churches. Don't ever listen to those people, and I'll tell you why. There's nothing wrong with Christianity. There's something wrong with the preachers and the rabbis. You don't want to be taught by anybody, including me. Have you ever watched the TV, and I'm not sure what they call it, but they sell jewelry to old people. Yes, I don't know what it is, but they sell jewelry. There's 3 of them on my television. I watch them, and they scream and they yell, they get excited. How wonderful this diamond is, and this diamond is that, and the beautiful gold pendant, and it's 5,000 years old, and we're only getting you $1 for it. So then you get $10,000 for it if you ever want. No. And they get so excited that the older people who are vulnerable will buy that stuff. And so, but if you listen carefully, the preacher talks to you the same way. Never give in to one that is emotional. And it draws you in with emotion and away from yourself. They'll kill you. You become addicted to church like an addict to the church and the bully in the wherever he is. The preacher is in, can't remember.
Pulpit.
What?
Pulpit.
Pulpit. I was thinking of puppet. It's very hot in here.
Yeah, we've got it on cool.
Okay.
Okay, so gradually.
If you see my eyes bulging, and you know, I'm doing my best, striving in the greatest of difficulties. Anyway, strange beginning. I just want to say to my audience out there in America, and I'm not going to be political, I've done that enough, and I have discussed how you are being screwed, and you don't even see it. Just like the preachers, they're screwing the audience and they don't see it. They think they're going to heaven when they're going to hell. It's all lies. And even the truth is lies. The devil can recite verses and chapters. He knows the whole book. He knows all your weaknesses. He understands it. I was talking to my wife this morning. She said, yes, I understand this and I understand this. No, you don't understand, you don't realize it. You understand intellectually. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. But she doesn't see, she doesn't make sense. She can repeat it. Come to my talks every week, live with me, share with you. She has a whole catalogue of information in her head. She can respond to it as if she understood it. No, she's only remembered it. She's still under the influence. The whole country is under the influence. The 2 parties are owned by one, which a good guess would be Putin. Only Putin can play this game this far, for 70, 80 years of infection of our country and taking over all the industries, music, movies, everything, schools, everything, universities, everything. And you were divided into 2 parties. There never was 2 parties. There never was a Democratic Party. There never was what's the other one? Republican Party. There never was. It was in the beginning, the North and the South, they had different ideas of it. The South had slavery. Then come the cotton engine, isn't it? Cotton mill, cotton gin.
Cotton mills.
Yes, and created.
The North was a manufacturing
That's
base,
right.
and the South was agricultural.
So we had a civil war.
Yeah.
Almost Clinton,
Yeah.
Lincoln,
Yeah.
lousy president. He could have said, let's give you the cotton gins and free the slaves.
Yeah.
And then we'll work it out and we'll have competition with each other in a proper way by evolution of our ideas, right?
Yeah.
Never did that.
No, he could allow the South to sell it to anybody.
That's right. But then there's a civil war. But there was, in the North, which was most of America, there was Republicans, as we know it, as we have known it, but not anymore, right?
Yeah.
So in the South, it was Democrats. Yes, because they believe in slaves. We had a bloody war,
Yeah.
and they decimated them. But they still are slave drivers in North America. And you find the Democrats as a party now. And the Republicans are no longer a party that it used to be. They're owned by the same entity, foreign entity, Marxism.
They don't
Only
represent.
Marxism can do this to us. Only Marxism is smart enough to do it.
Well, the key is they don't represent the people.
But whatever it is, they own both parties. You can see it. There never were there never was two parties.
Yeah.
The Constitution doesn't say two parties. Where did the two parties come from? Why can't? Yes, we have a college. What is that college thing that they?
Electorate?
Electoral college.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, they had electoral college.
Electoral
college.
Yeah.
They had that. See, I'm an Englishman, and I know a little bit about it, but I don't always know the names of things, so thank you very much.
Yeah.
But I see it, and maybe you guys don't see it, but I do. The Electoral College is a way of, making sure fairness is done.
Yes.
See,
The
if one doesn't work, the other one does.
Yeah,
correct?
The rural areas would be neglected.
Without great explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, but now we've got two parties. We don't need two parties. All we need is to vote. And the best man wins, and if there's some problem, then you go to the Electoral College.
Yes.
Done.
It's got to be fairness.
There's no two parties. And since now there are two parties, they're owned by, you can see them both owned. The Democrats in their way, the Republicans in their way. It's not the people anymore.
No,
they own you both ways.
There's a power grab.
They're owned by by one entity outside our country, from outside. And who's been tearing us down all these years. So I would say, drop them both. Liars and cheats. If you listen to, there's going to be a double civil war, because the Democrats have a problem similar to what they have on the right because of that Electoral College. They both have a similar problem. So there can be a double civil war. Watch it. You're going to die by the millions. You come up here, I go overseas. I do my shows. Because martial law can be declared by either party who wins. Martial law means gone. It's not just martial law. You don't have a democracy as you think of it.
Yeah, you'd have a
Dictatorship.
police state.
And every day you wait. Every day you stupid Americans wait to stand up to Obama and say, get out of there. What do they call it when people don't? Civil disobedience. Civil disobedience. To give them nothing. Give them nothing, no taxes, nothing. And you don't have, and they fade away without a war.
It was like Gandhi, he had the whole of India stop, and they broke England that way.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
So if you're going to just keep waiting and trying to be politically correct, but be black and white, it's nothing to do with black and white. It has to do with sick politics of the left and the right. The ones that are from the South that still own the slaves in the North, in the inner cities, because the slaves of the South owe their life to the bully. The generations, insufficient generations have passed to separate them from their dictators. They are drawn, when you are motivated, when you are intimidated, when you are degraded by someone, you become their victim. And they tend to love that which has done it to them. And they have a love-hate relationship, and they're drawn into the inner cities. And once they get there, they can't get out. The gangs are never persecuted as gangs having guns. They just make sure that they don't have a good education, and they're just people who are entitled in a very slavish way. See? And all they're good for is a vote. But their life is made a misery. And then the anger, it's got to go somewhere. It doesn't attack the bully, it attacks the innocent. Because they're all bullies. And the only way they can function is not to stand up to their bully, but to take it out on innocent victims that they were once, and not anymore. And they will fight and die, because they will love their bully. They will be rewarded by their bully for how many people they kill, and how many shops they break, and how many fires they set. And they're all motivated by forces outside. And the party on the right is, I can't find a way to say it. I can't find the right words for it. But they're not Republicans. They're not the Republican as we know Washington. And others, especially Washington, is a magnificent example of what American is. And we do have a serious problem in our country because we've lost our way. But most of the people are on drugs of some kind, legal. And so how can we think clearly? How can we stand up? How can we take a stand? We're all fighting each other. No-fault divorce, giving the power to women to overcome men. The Bible says there'll come a time that the women and the children shall give instructions to the Father. It comes a time. And Jesus says about the family, I have to think not I have come to bring peace, but war. Father against daughter, mother against son. Do you remember that part? He didn't say virtue doesn't come through the blood. I got problems in my family. Virtue doesn't come with the blood. That's what they're going to get. They're just ordinary people to me. They do me wrong. Goodbye. Okay, now, having said that, young lady, you came from a long way away, so they give you shot first.
I did. I came from.
I just had to,
of course,
set the pace and want to say something sort of pseudo-political. I can't tell you who you should vote for. You know damn well who I'm going to vote for, but I'm not going to tell you. He's like me.
I look at it that people of your generation were brought up completely differently than.
No, actually, people in my generation were born just ordinary people, that's pretty neat to be an ordinary
Yeah,
person.
maybe I have this facade then in my mind, because I think the same, just the gay marriage, everything legal.
No, there's
and
no gay marriage. There was no.
With you.
If you went to a
Promiscuity with
movie,
women.
they had to make sure it passed muster, so it wasn't any deleterious, pictures in there.
You go to the movies today, I can't take my kids to the
No, you can't.
movies. It's just crazy. And I like looking at movies from the 1950s because they're safe.
I know it's true,
It's lovely. They're
but this
touching.
country is screwed.
Yeah.
It is, unless it hears a voice like mine, and the voice like mine is disturbing, because to the degree that people lose who they are, there's evil involved, and literally evil. There's the person who smokes, the person who drinks, something wrong with them. Mm-hmm. You don't see a crocodile smoking. You don't see them taking
overeating.
drugs. You see elephants coming out of the jungle to look in the waters where there's, elements that they might need, and they know by instinct that they need to sniff on the bottom of those lakes or mud pits to take the elements and the what do they call it? Minerals, yes, minerals, as they need it. They know what to do. They're compulsive. They're instinctual. How the fish, the salmon, know how to come back. The pigeon knows how to navigate without looking at the sun or anything. How does they do this? The thing is, we have something better than that now. We have a soul. We have a spirit. And that is what must be the master of our thinking and our doing. And the reason why we are broken like this is because slowly but surely we became too kind, too thoughtful, and we begin to be weak, and we thought that was love. Mm-hmm. And there's another story to that, because the left is an appeaser. In the religion, it would be the Catholic religion. In other words, love your neighbor is misunderstood. Love is appeasement, and therefore is the cause of war. And so when you teach a person that love is appeasement, and you don't tell them that it is appeasement and the cause of war, do you really think that you are doing God's will by loving your enemy when you don't know what the hell love means? Then, but behind that is to push them to be more forceful in it, and to reward them for their forcefulness and their deliberation to continuously multiply more and more pieces, more, and reward them with an applause, as if they were the righteous people, and the others who stand up for themselves, they don't like that, to assert what is true. Appeasement is a whole lie. It is a magnificent lie. But then there's the liar that takes the word, love your neighbor, love your enemy. Here it is, love, don't hate your enemy. That's the meaning of love. Love means don't hate. It takes love not to hate, but it takes God's love to take away the anger and the judgment. Judgment is mine, saith the Lord. I will pay back. So now, would you like to say something?
No, I'm grateful, Roy. That's all I want to say, really. I'm just very grateful that for whatever reason, God led me to you and to your message. And I'm just There are times when I'm emotional and I'll cry.
I hope by relief.
It is
If
by
it's a
relief.
relief, oh my God, I have a little tear.
Yes, it is just
Remorse.
gratitude
It's called remorse.
that I'm not dead, or I'm not homeless, or just anything that could have happened in my life. That
Even
I'm-
if you're homeless,
Yeah,
if you deal with it right,
that's
you're
right.
rich.
That's right. That I am where I am now. I know that I have a long way to go still, but at least that I'm here.
Yes.
And
Come a long way.
I have come an immensely long way. It is incredible. And I look at my life and I think I still have a long way to go.
Well, I do too.
Yeah.
I have fights ahead of me. You know how I fight on the radio? Recently, all our staff is sick. So I'm doing the best of, meaning you're not hearing me live. So that's deleterious. It's difficult because I need to keep up with things. I can do it now because we're doing video, and we do this once a week. And it could be repeated once all through the week, which is all offered. But I need to be able to go by day and explain it, because the situation, the state of mind the American people is on the right, they're wrong, and on the wrong, they're wrong. And we're going to have a terrible clash. The right is going to fight the right, the nominee of the right, because he's going to free us. Or one of the two, or we should say. They meant to give the meaning of what it means, the Constitution and everything else, and what it means to be in America. I'm an Englishman. I'm an American. And everybody needs to be as bold as I am, if I may say so.
Generation is leaving us, though. I'm afraid of that your generation is leaving
Me?
us.
I've got another generation
You
to go.
do. Yeah, I know you do. You're the exception to the rule. But I think about what kids are being taught now in the schools, in federal level.
They're
It's not
finished.
state by state. They are finished.
There's a few, and they get laughed at.
They do. I have 3 children. I pulled them out of school and I homeschool them.
Well, you may have to go to another country.
I really think that might be the case. It's just getting ridiculous.
I would say you better you don't want to stay here while blood is falling.
Mm-hmm.
And our enemies are, not only are we fighting 2 fights, the left is fighting itself, the right is fighting itself, and then they were fighting each other. And then all the people we've appeased, and all who put that up to us, who made us be this way over the years, they will come in. So we have fighting on every side. ISIS, communism in its purest way. See? You're done.
I know.
And we talk, and what you look at the radio and you listen to television, oh yes, the person got an accident and he knocked his head off. Okay, so what's the big deal? It happens every day. Oh yes, we had a little incident in, Budapest last week, whatever it is. But what's really going on, it's Israel. Obama has put Israel in a very precarious, what a sly bastard. And you can see this. They give $150 billion to a country that supports mass murder of Jewish people. Are you crazy? No, you're wicked. You're what am I the word I'm looking for? Traitor. Obama is a traitor. Why don't you see it? The reason why you don't see it is because we have a war. If you because he's a person of color, and you're going to have a war, immediately you become a hater of black people. Damn that. You don't want to listen to that kind of speech, politically correctness. What would you do if that was a white person? You'd have him. Nixon did less than that. If I'm I'm not a very good political person. I don't know names and
And
places.
his men did it, he didn't.
I just expressed it. I expressed an idea and just give you the little pack in a little package. That's all you really need. So what is Israel going to do? She's only got one chance to drop a bomb down that hole. See, which is, there's only 7 million of them against billions. And Obama feeds the one that's the worst and the most powerful now. And they're getting the best tanks and the best airplanes and protections against nuclear warfare. Israel is only 7 million people, never mind the army they have. And they don't dare to attack. Well, they've only got one chance. One chance. And if they succeed, it means America has to go to war with Israel because of a pact they have together. They're doing business with each other as if they're kosher. This is a sickness, and nobody stands up. Nobody. The right never stood up. The right never stood up to anything. Don't you see? Because they're not right. The right is not right, and the wrong is wrong. That's why you have two candidates which have a breath of fresh air and see the things as they are and delivering it to you. But look at how frightened. If anybody you want to be frightened of is Obama, not the two that are there, up there, for grabs. And not wanting to put somebody else in that we didn't vote for. The Electoral College is crazy. It's intruding for both sides. Each wants their own person. Never mind what you want. They think their mother and father, they think they know the best when they don't know the best about each other. They're fighting each other all the time. They think they know the best about us. It's not American to sit there quietly and smoke and take dope. Throw it away, get off your duff, and make a stand before it's too late. All right, done now. You didn't come here for that.
Well, we're not taught that, though. Nobody's taught how to do that. They're not taught how to be strong.
I know how to do this. If I had enough money, if some of those millions came to the foundation, and I could be on all the different stations that we can get, which we're going to try to do anyway. Don't you worry. We have been broken. We're going to come back with a tremendous force. I say, please God, we are going to do that. I was part of a network. I helped build a network. 800 stations. In one night, it collapsed. Because they didn't pay. The people, we created the rep firm. You know what rep firms are. It means they sell the commercials. And they give us, they keep what their commission, and they give us the rest. They didn't give us the rest. One day. It's all done. It becomes a big conglomerate. It's collapsing now. We're going to go right after.
Good.
So, but the point is, who was the other person that Bush was fighting for presidency? Joy.
Al Gore.
Yes, Al Gore.
Gore.
No, Al Gore.
Al Gore.
Yeah, that's more like.
And anybody could vote for that is insane. You have to understand, it's a mental disturbance. Now, listen to me carefully. I haven't been doing a program for a week, live. Haven't got enough money. Not enough people. We just have a ragtag people that left. We still have 400 stations. I'm not on them because they can choose to be, but I'm on 90. That's not enough. If I could get enough money, if some billionaire, like Trump, you have got money, would support this foundation. It wouldn't be political any more than Jesus was political. When I'm doing it live, I am focusing on day-to-day stuff and getting you to see how to deal with it. And how to deal with it is how you deal with your wife, how you deal with your children, how you deal with your enemy. And I always win. And you listen to me carefully, and what I'm doing is what no one has ever done before or may ever do again. This is the only opportunity you have. I attack my enemy right through the radio. I said, I speak flawless truth. It's flawless not because it's not mechanical. It is not a factor of memory. I write a whole my story and everything, and then spill the beans on Sunday, right? I didn't intend to speak this way, but it's making me speak this way. You've come a long way. Maybe, we'll extend it for another hour to make sure you get something to say. But the point is, I want you to understand how you destroy your enemy. And it's very important because it looks like the Catholic aspect of appeasement. It looks like a kindness. But it is the kindness. The kindness is not the kindness. The appeasement is not love. It is encouraging the bully. If you appease anybody, you embolden the bully. Or if you appease someone with a cleverness, you make them dependent on your approval. And then you can become in control. Or, in other words, well, you know what I'm trying to say anyway. So, you're driving in your car with a friend that you do not know is a fiend. Because friends do seem to be friendly, and they can lead you on with their friendliness, and then all of a sudden one day, bingo, you see they've done something wrong, and you don't know what to do. See? And you think, so I don't want to hurt his feelings. But the real truth is, it's your feelings that are going to be hurt, because if you speak up to your enemy, who you don't know as an enemy, and he loves you, and you do nice things for them, and he tells you what a wonderful friend you are, that's what you've been living on. He's a drug, and you're the pushover. Got it?
Yes, you can identify that much quicker, I think, than the average Joe.
Oh, yes.
I know that you can. I don't know, I can't. It takes me a little while.
Just like that.
That's great to have that.
No, the way you do it, you've got to kill the spirit, not the person.
Yeah.
But the adversary, those who don't understand, are subject. Those who live off the dying subjects. You're dying. As long as you're subject to intimidation and you react to the authority of the spoken word and as if it was Lord over you, right? As long as you're reacting to pressure with anger and conformity, anger, rebellion, and conformity, going along, giving your life to the person, and only for us to have peace. There is no peace. Got it. And this no peace is what's wrong with all our country, because we think we're such nice people, we're doing nice things. And we always get damned. We always get the wrong end of the stick. We do, don't we?
Yes.
It's because we're not good enough. We have got the wrong good. We're serving the wrong boss. We're serving a bully. Who's a slave of his bully? Who's a slave of his bully? All the way back to Paradise Lost. It's a pandemic. And it goes through the generations. That's why we have wars. We have those who rebel. And they try to be Christian. You can't be Christian if you're going to try. You can't learn verse and chapter. You don't see it. You see how feeble my knowledge of verse and chapter, but little pieces. Little pieces. I get it. Oh, I'm awake. I get it. Now, when I'm awake, I can't help but speak what my awakeness tells me. It's through that awakeness. And I like that. But I like that. I want to. I feel fresh when I've said it. See, stronger is it? But you're driving in the car. You remember we started with that. And your friend is a fiend, but you don't know it. But all of a sudden, the radio comes on, and you're enjoying listening to it. What do you say, Joe? You listen to that guy? What's the matter with you? Right? That guy's a fake. Immediately, you see you haven't got a friend. I said, no, I like him. He wants to get out of the car. You'll say, well, why don't you hear the phone, pick up and call him? No. So nobody will call me. Nobody ever calls me.
Do you know what I do, Roy? I've made out some cards, and it has the information for the foundation. And periodically when I'm in a restaurant or somewhere random, and I'll have a conversation with somebody, I'll say, you might want to give this guy a call, or just listen. He's got pretty good information,
No, it's
and
good.
just leave it at that. And then off I go.
But I want to finish my point.
Sure.
It's a nice gesture, don't get me wrong. But I want to make a complete idea which will help you. So I'm saying all these things as a precursor to what I really want to say. Because I've given you the whole enchilada, and then I'm going to take the little tiny enchilada, which is you. Okay? And then show you your place. And if everybody had that place, now even if the whole world came down on you, and everybody looks at you, because America is getting to a state where people will look at you as if you're innocent. And what it means by innocent isn't, yes, dear. Oh, it isn't weak. You can see a weak person walking down you can see, it's written all over their face and the way they walk. That's why they get murdered. The predators will pick on that. They can see it, they smell it, the look, the way you carry yourself. The way you glow or don't glow. They can see a victim right away. They won't resist. Better not mess with me. That's all I can say. But on the radio, I have my voice is powered up. You can't fight the radio. Number one, it's like a bigger person than I am. That works for me. If I become the authority, whether you like it or not. But in this time, it's not that kind of like it or not. It is like it or die. And so what I'm talking about is to kill the entity, kill the program in your adversary who does not know what he or she is doing, who believes that everything that comes out of their mouth is their own, and it is not. But how to overcome it, because the communists know that when a person is that state, they are so unreasonable, not all the truth on earth can move them. That's not true. Because you have a Holy Spirit, whatever the heaven that is. It has to be in you. And it has to speak through you. It's like saying if you had a dad that was living forever, wouldn't you like to have a dad that lives forever? And you doesn't have to get married.
Yes.
But your husband is one of that person that should take that role after you've had children and you've gone through that stage of two animals copulating in an alley. After you've got to that stage where you think that sex is love, then you slowly but surely begin to see your children, and you give your attention to the children and less to each other, right?
Yes.
Something like that. And so, but the world out there, America out there, is a bunch of crazy, mentally sick people, people who think they're Christians, people who think that socialism is the way of the world, because they got that in school, they got brainwashed, etc., 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 etc. So they're all brainwashed and they're all stubborn with it. And if you have a different opinion, they can overcome you. And if they're good enough, they get promoted into a party. Something like that. They get very interested in politics, and they get rewarded for their lies and their power over people.
But Roy, we have to come to that point that you were starting to speak about, where we have that working through us. How can anybody start a business and have employees if the employee's getting ready to sue them for something, or work in a public sector with people that are transvestites or
Yes,
all
but
that kind of stuff?
you're off a track.
I understand that, but back to what you were saying, if we had that in us, where if we see something where we can kill that adversary in somebody else, I think that's a beautiful place to be at.
Well, I have people come, I have people who work for the foundation, and the biggest percentage of them are traitors. And the ones we have now are not.
Good.
They're good people. But we've only got 2 people in the working in the store, so to speak. And that we have others doing things behind the scenes you don't know. But the point is it all start to die. All start to die. Or lives go off into nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to warfare, meaning I'm not affected by it, I see what I'm doing, I will use them for as long as I can use them until I can find another one.
Sure.
You see that?
Makes sense.
And they will do as they're told because I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see in them the traitor. But the traitor can't work as long as I'm over him. See, and I'm paying him or her. But I have lots of good ones that slowly come and go and enjoy their life and say goodbye. Mm-hmm. See, and one of them here is helping me.
Yeah.
See, that's and Paul is you know you don't see him very much. He's behind the scenes. He's his own contractor, but we work together. He's been working with me for 10 years at least, working with me.
I've known one of them for half my life. It's been lovely to see the growth.
But here it is. Now I'm going to war. I've got to have as many stations as possible. I have to multiply myself. And that's good. One person can do it. Hitler could do it because he had the media. See? One person can do it. One person can undo it. Jesus comes and undoes it. But not for everybody, because it creates war. It creates persecution. But in America, the Constitution, if we could hold fast to it and bridle ourselves to it and hold fast to it, we can win. But basically, the Constitution really represents, the broken heart, the broken person. I don't need the Constitution. I know not to kill people. I know not to steal from the day I'm born. It's only the influence of culture that will make it otherwise, and make it real, and make me forget who I am, and then think I am what I'm not. And that's the difficulty in dealing with them. So when I'm on the radio, I don't know who is my enemy. Even though he is an enemy, he may not know he is an enemy. He may think he is what he is, but he's not. And such a person can tolerate my voice, first as a reaction, second as 2 days later. Roy Masters, why am I hating Roy Masters? He's told me the truth. Bingo. I have a person I can help. But there's the other one who loves like Hitler. There's a part of people who decide to adapt to what they were made when they came into the world. In other words, when you come into the world, you're innocent. But but when you come into the culture gets into you. Okay. And then you become an Englishman, an Irishman, a cannibal, right? A Nazi. If you're born there, you're going to be that, or you're going to get killed, or you're going to be put in the mines to keep the country running.
Okay.
It's subject. You're going to be subject. You're going to keep your mouth shut and just do the work to
Now,
keep the
there-
machinery going.
If I may, there's a part of me that I may be at that point, because when you had mentioned being able to have that in you where you can go after the adversary, your spirit can go after that spirit, I can't do that. I
No,
admire
you
that.
can't
that
do
can-
it. I can't do it either.
Okay.
No, I can't do it. Hey, it ain't me.
I know.
You're not.
Yeah, that's true.
Listen, right now I have a bad memory. My wife has a bad memory. I can't remember people's names. Never could anyway. So I guess it's nothing new. Yeah, I have. I introduce one person to another person. Somebody's introduced into me. I forget their name right away.
I didn't. I do.
Anyway, I don't remember. I'm not a historian. I just get little pieces of it. I don't have the name of it or anything. I see the principle, and the Constitution is not for me. It is to protect me from them.
Exactly.
It is a protection from them.
Yeah, it puts a check on government.
That's right.
Okay.
See, which is a magical thing. You're not going to find this anywhere in the world, not even in England.
Oh,
See?
gosh, no.
No.
Yeah,
So I became an American citizen.
sure.
I'm not too proud of that now.
I know.
See, but let me get it on with the thing I know best. And it is the way to kill. And I pause there because someone's listening and will try to change that around. I want to kill the spirit of evil in the person. I want to kill, destroy, knock out, dissolve the influence of that person since he was born. That is but that's not me. Only the Holy Spirit can do that. But the Holy Spirit you don't need me. Because if you fall on your knees one day and wake up and say what life is all about, all of a sudden you're free as a bird and you don't know how it happens. All of a sudden you can speak your mind, et cetera, without worrying about what people think of you. So I'm not saying it's only me. But there are very few me's on the radio. So I have an advantage of 1 million me's at once, right? So if Jesus had a radio, I mean, he didn't have to do a whole lot, but it's not to be. And so the killing, and I mean killing, that which makes the adversary, whether he's a ISIS, whether he is a Nazi, whether he is a Democrat, the one that likes to make slaves in the South and in the North, in the cities, and keep his power going over them, and corral them into nothing except to reward them with a little bit of money, and they're only worth a vote. It's all they're worth. They're worth nothing. And you've got to keep them as nothing to keep them alive. It's called entitlements. And entitlements is a very dangerous thing. It makes you want to kill other people for having what you don't have. See, we won't go into that now. So, one more thing. The killing of, this is important. The meditation, a 7-minute meditation that has no religious ideas on it except a faint thing, you've been redeemed. You see at the very end you hear that word redeemed. In that 7-minute meditation, that's all there is there. That's all the message. It's all the message. And if you sit there, you are receptive to it. You don't know what redemption is, but it's a word for you what you don't understand and how you got there, but it's an inclination of the soul and validating the inclination of the soul. You have to have it in you. I don't understand that part. Okay? But I don't understand why people would want to find the truth and not find it. Still look for it. They're dying to look for it. And the others will keep you from it. And those who are kept from it, keep you from it. They get their marching orders. So they multiply. And it's always attacking the innocent, attacking freedoms. They've got to make slaves. They've got to glory themselves over you. Okay? And so that could be your next door neighbor, it could be your husband, it could be your wife, it could be your children. I'm going after one of mine right now. Don't you worry about it. You watch it in newspapers. I won't do it. And don't mess with their father.
I've got a question.
Yes. But we'll come back to that in a minute.
Of course.
Why is evil so popular and seem to be the preferred choice from the majority?
Because it's very simple. Through one man, I have to keep repeating this if you don't mind. Through one man, the only person on this earth, or came to earth because he was in a paradise state, only one person is guilty of sin. He didn't listen to his heart, he listened to his wife. And because you've done this thing, dust thou art, and so dust thou shalt return. And so shall a man leave his mother and father and be bonded to one, and become one flesh. So what happened is, women rule over men. Women always rule over men. Because men, when they come into the world innocent, women come into the world innocent, okay? But there's a difference. The men that come into the world are subject to the woman for the failure of the husband or the father, because he didn't love her. He was attracted to her for pleasure and sense of worthless worth, not understanding what worth is, looking at the woman as a saving grace, without understanding anything about that. He gets into her, she gets into him, but what's in her is Eve. All the way back to Paradise Lost, every woman is an Eve and a killer. Now, it doesn't make you. Doesn't make me mean. No, it is a state you're in, and then I express the state the stupid man is, the stupefied man. But the stupefied man is stupefied the day he's born, because mother either hates him because he's had sex and didn't expect it, and hates him in her mother's womb. You know that I had a cousin who was hated by his mother, and she tried to abort him and failed, and he committed suicide when he was 20. My cousin. Another cousin pushed by mother in South Africa when I was there. He committed suicide too because the pressure of mother and the weak father. The father is too weak. He's weak when he's angry, because marriage is what he thought it would be. Well, it isn't paradise, it's hell. He's come into hell. And the woman is the hell. But she doesn't want to be hell. She wants to be saved from hell. So the man's love emboldens the power of the woman. So even when she's being beaten up for what he wants from her, even when she's being beaten up, she cannot help but give in or run away. And then he goes to another man, and the man goes to another woman and does the same thing. But let's keep it all one. She keeps on giving in because now she's got children. She has to be his whore. Do you understand that? And it's the same thing. He doesn't understand that she hasn't got love to give. She's only got pleasure to give. And give him a sense of worth. This worthless person needs a sense of worth from the woman. And what comes up is worthlessness. Never worth. So there's never satisfying. Sex is never satisfying, but becomes addicting. And he commands it, demands it. And if he doesn't get it in her, he gets it from somebody else. And the woman's left alone to bring up the kids. And then you see in the scriptures, I don't say it exactly, there'll come a time when the women and the children shall rule the father. backwards.
Roy, how would you help those children that are in that position?
Well, yes, that is a question far ahead of how we help them
Yeah.
will be in my discussion.
Just how do you help
It
those
is,
children?
it's too much for me at one time. It's too much for me. I'm explaining the problem. If I explain the problem, you'll see the solution. She wants to, see, it's a good question, don't get me wrong. She wants me to give her the answer. I'm telling you what's wrong with you. You can't have an answer if you don't know what's wrong with you. If you know what's wrong with you, you have the answer. I see that. You have the ability to see the spirit. You have a spiritual. If you're a donkey, you wouldn't be able to see. All you do is get beaten, and you have to do as you're told. But you don't have to be a donkey. You have something donkeys don't have. The way to redeem the redemption from being a donkey or being an ass. See that? So you don't need to be told what to do. I don't want to tell you what to do. I want to show you. I don't want to tell you what not to do. I want to show you what you're just doing. No, I'm not going to tell you to do it.
Yeah.
See that?
And the most direct countermeasure to this,
Oh, you asked a question?
yeah, now this is my follow-up question to one of the question I asked before.
Is that a complete question?
What's the okay, so you got this popular evil,
counter.
what's the most effective
Fair
direct countermeasure?
It's
I mean,
nothing.
some people have conscience, and their conscience pops up. For myself, something inside me said, I need to seek. But I didn't really know that I did anything for that to pop up in me.
Keep
But
going.
that was the
Keep
beginning.
Going. Keep going a little
That was
bit.
the beginning for me of
But that's just
getting
you.
better.
That has nothing to do with me.
Right.
I'm saying I don't know why people want to go backwards or forwards. I don't know. It's a mystery. This is not my mystery. You, sir, have come a long way, and you love what I'm saying. And you want to hear more, not because you want to learn me, because you want to see what ails you, what is fiddling with your mental states.
Sure, and
spirituals.
I love truth.
Yes.
I
And so,
like seeking truth.
so the truth is, you're a donkey. Yeah, it's good to be saying that. You're an ass. So my job is to show you why. How did you become an ass? See? Well, that is the same for everybody. It's born into you. You're born into sin. Now just stop for a minute. Slow the camera down. Eve seduced Adam. He says, look, I ate the fruit. I didn't die. What spoke to her? These are fresh people. She's just been milked. She's just been created. Boop! Out of his rib. That's what they call that. Cloning. If the science can clone, why can't God clone what he created? It's called woman, because she came out of man. It's a woman is a man, woman has a woman. Yeah, she has a womb. A womb man. Right? Right. And man has a relationship with God, and she has a relationship with man. And if the man is noble, but in this moment, in the beginning, God created two different. There may be Neanderthal men. There may be all kinds of different kinds of creatures that look like men and can even talk. Who knows? But the point is, He's made a special kind of man. See, and that man He gives the right to decide the knowledge of good. You can have everything in the garden, even the tree of eternal life, but you can't have that one. And you see the same thing in little children, right? They want everything like that. See, they want something that they think they want. They want something and they nag for it. And so, and when they're caught taking money from Dad's night table, did you take that? No, Johnny made me do it. Right? None of them say, yes, Father, I'm sorry, I got tempted. But he's too young to understand that. A little voice inside him, which is from his mother. That because the child, the male child especially, with a female child, the female child flows out of her womb an exact copy of Eve. And unconsciously, consciously, unconsciously, wants the love of the Father. The way, how can I say this? I just have to repeat it in a different way in a second. So the child intuitively comes into the world, the female child, needing the correction of the father. But the woman also needs the correction of her husband, but the husband doesn't understand their need for correction. He only has a longing to take the pleasure from the wife and do everything he can, buy her cars and fur coats and everything, and to the point of bullying, to get this because it seems like life. It's not. It isn't that, because man born of woman has a short time to live. And see that? Man born of woman does not understand. He's born, when he was born, let me just take right at that spot. When a female child is born, it is the exact copy of the mother, extension of Eve into the mother. When a male child is born, equally innocent, she comes into the world innocent, just like, but she's a woman. And so therefore, she is engulfed in her mother. In other words, she's subject to the mother. But the male child is also subject to the mother, but crippling. It's a crippling quality. The female child isn't crippled, she's extended. There's an extension of her, but she's not guilty either. But there's something with the crippling part, and something too with the flowing part into the female. Every woman gives birth to a female child. It gets the mother's identity. And the identity of the mother is the extension of the voice that spoke to Eve that said, I didn't, look, did God lie? I ate this fruit and I didn't die. And he sees it, it doesn't. Say, why don't you take it? Well, imagine the conversation. He doesn't have the conversation. Perhaps your Father in heaven wants to make sure you're a man to disobey him and stand up to him. Words to that effect. It could be any kind of words, because these are the first words. See, I didn't. But Adam had a conscience, and he was subject to God. He was first. Out from him comes her, as the extension of him. There's a natural order of life, but that's got reversed. And that reverse state of mind is all families. The women control everything, whether you like it or not, whether you see it or not. And so the communists, the Marxists understand that. They've seen it, but they don't understand it biblically. And so they sit on the doorstep of the women and give them more. You listen, if a man hits a woman, he goes to jail. If a woman hits a man, nothing happens. He's restricted. He cannot speak. He cannot exert himself to the point where he gets so frustrated he does strike. He does fight. He does knock her down. Because he can't reason with it. He cannot reason because he doesn't have the authority, because he's born of a woman. He doesn't have authority. He's missing something. And he's looking for it. Where is it? What's attracting him? But after a while, he'll be attracted by a crab. Because it's anything that gives him pleasure. Sniff glue. About a crab, I can remember that. I was on the beach doing judo on the beach in Brighton, in England, once, and I remember a guy put a crab on, while he was sleeping, put a big crab on his chest. And he woke up and looked at it. He says, "Oh my God, I knew I had it, but this is ridiculous." I don't know if it does anything. But the point is, let me get back to the point and stop making jokes. I'm not very good at that. I've got a half a dozen and I'm finished.
You don't seem to be contaminated by that so much.
In what sense, you see? What do you mean by
I
contaminated?
feel you've got a lot of a fountain of energy that flows out,
Yes.
out of you from
Yeah, it's
God
not
to
me.
you,
It's
through
not me.
God to you and outward. I feel it. When I first came here, I actually was one of the people who had fear even coming at all, because I could feel the energy in the whole place.
Yes.
Or let's just say the entity that didn't want to die could feel it.
Yes, yes.
So,
yes. It's
But
interesting way you
and
say
I could
it.
feel, actually even today I felt there was a little something on me that just kind of burned away.
But I'm a friendly enemy.
Well, yeah.
I want you
But,
better, but
I'm
I don't
saying-
care if you're dead.
I'm saying, how do we get what you got?
Well, you can have it just by appreciating me. It's like, oh, this man has got a breath of fresh air. I like that. It's over. You're on the way. On your own. All you have to do is recognize it. Oh, that's it. I heard about it, and now I've seen it. Right? I said, yeah, that makes sense. I can't argue with him. I feel better just listening. I'm not getting any worse. I'm seeing things. Well, that will continue without me.
Do you know, my husband appreciates that? Very much so, that I am doing this, and that I have been doing this all this time, and that's why he chose me as a wife. Thank you.
This is your husband.
He is not my husband.
No?
Well, you seem to be like-minded.
We
you know.
do, yes, I agree, yeah.
Did that answer the question?
Yeah, I think so, but I think it's, from my understanding, I've listened to you a lot, I've read some of your things, and there's something about the unspoken word being,
That's the
letting
right word.
it come intuitively and doing nothing, and just
Yes.
letting things flow.
Yes. Doing nothing. Jesus said it, and if you ask a Christian, before I was a Christian, I'm really a Jewish Christian, but I didn't have to change my religion to be a Christian, because Christianity is not a religion. It's a salvation from any religion. Do you understand that? I can just remember bits and pieces of things I've read in the Bible, heard people say. I don't say it perfectly. I don't care. You get it. I got it. I can just say it in my own words and you recognize it. I like to use my own words. Then it's not my own words. What is passing through me is obedience. I don't know what to say. I don't plan anything.
I'm so glad you're obedient.
Yeah, I'm obedient to the moment. Because I really, of myself, I can do nothing. Jesus said it. Why call me good? There's nobody but good, but God. And all the things I can do, you can also do. basically speaking. You have to become perfect, as your Father in heaven is perfect. The word becoming is a little thing every day. Little things every day, which don't seem to be much. I always talk about my piece of glass in the street. You heard me speak about that.
It's been a while.
Yeah, and then 20 years later, when I picked it up, it was like an elastic band pulling me back in the dusk of the evening. And I just walked past it, but then something pulled me back. And I pushed it into the gutter, so out of mischief's way, you know. And then it comes to me 20 years, 30 years later. See? Because you did that little thing without anybody seeing you, no, see? You're just doing it because it's right. If you had missed that, you would have missed every other one, which makes the story. It's the little things that confound the mighty. Well, there it is. I'm quoting scriptures.
And then why is there this weird little thing that when it's what I've experienced, maybe others, but when someone helps you, you hear the truth, and then there's this want to put them on a pedestal or
Yeah,
get excited. Oh,
Yeah,
you
that's
know.
the dark side of you. That's setting me up to fail.
I have to admit, when I first started hearing you and all that, I got caught. That came to me. I didn't really like it, but it was like, oh, rock star, you know. It's like, but bad
No,
news. But yeah, I mean,
But you know, that is the dark side.
yeah, bad news.
You have to project your own God. You're a God maker greater than the God you made.
But that just seemed to be really treacherous.
Really crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. Putting people on a pedestal is making you're the God maker greater than the God you made.
There's
And
just
then
all
you
these
expect
little.
things from them, and it doesn't come. I cannot give you salvation. I don't have it. You've made me God, therefore God doesn't come through me to you. You only become addicted to my approval, which is terrible. And things go wrong and you still want to believe. You think you're not believing enough. See?
Yeah, that just, for me, that was so treacherous.
It
was
is.
terrible.
But
And
it's the
stealth.
it's the treachery of the dark side of the force you don't see that's come from Eve all the way to you. And everybody like you does the same thing. She does it, you do it. Everybody starts to create their own God because they don't know where God is.
Mm-hmm.
They think it's a person. It's not.
It's taken me a long time to get you off the pedestal.
I'm sorry about that.
It's not your fault. But
It's
I
not
think
my
it's
intent.
good
It's not
now.
my intent.
I really do. I look at you as a mentor.
That's all.
I do, and I'm grateful.
I'm your friend.
You
That's
are
all.
my bud. I really appreciate it.
I don't dilly-dally with you and
No.
you go parties and things. I just go home and I'm just a homey fellow.
You live your life. You kick our butt when we need it, like a good dad would do, and then
Yes.
off we go, and then we mess up a little bit here and there, or maybe we don't, and then we come back, and it's just fine, really.
Yeah. See, but then I die. What are you going to do then?
I don't know.
No, because you've you've really transferred your loyalty to to whom I'm coming from.
That's what you said, and that's what I'm hoping for.
Well, it happened to my father. I never had a problem with my dad. I never had a problem. Even though he smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day, I didn't notice that. But he was in the First World War and got injured. I think he got gassed or something. But he never would talk about it. But he was a good man. And so we didn't have much to do with each other because it was the Depression. You know how that is. So I was a carefree kid. And so I didn't think much of my dad. I didn't think in terms of dad. He's business, he's working, he's trying to find a job, he's trying to do something. But his nature put a canopy over the house. Now my brother was jealous of me. was the reasons for this. I won't go into that now. He's dying from it, actually. But when my father died, I didn't know I loved my father. I didn't know about love. But I was just free. And he was the reason for freedom, but I didn't know what all that was about. I was free. But when he died, I was in school. I was away in school, a boarding school, Beaconsfield College. And then the president of the school called me. I knew something was wrong. Anyway, it was painful, but then to cut a long story short, what I did is not realizing I appreciated my father, because there had to be a reason without me thinking about it as I look at it today. There has to be a reason why I had that freedom, and it was him. It wasn't my mother. Mother's an appeaser, nice lady, don't get me wrong. But she didn't have what he had. I didn't know what he had. If I can remember a conversation or two, we walked down the streets. I said, Dad, if you can take water and make it into, and pass electricity through it, is it true? Can you actually run on the oxygen? A car? He says, yes, you could. Yes, you could do that. These kind of things we would talk about, walking down the street. But I can't remember much of that. But that's the kind of relationship I had with him. He never laid a hand on me. He was always there. He was always there like God. But when he wasn't there, he was there like God. He had the effect.
Okay.
So what I didn't know I had for him suddenly became a longing. But the longing for a dead man isn't good. It was a longing, I didn't know it was for God. And when I was walking down the street one day, 12 years old, 13, it was raining. I would walk behind the person and walk like my dad and pull on his cuff. So, not him. You know? All of a sudden, now I can't explain this. I can only put it into rough words. And it would say, that's not your dad. I am. That's how it come across. That's the way it is. I have a little feeling now as I say it. See? And that's it. My father was jealous because my mother turned to me for wisdom, which was good. If you take a 3-year-old and you don't have a husband, listen to your 3-year-old. As long as he's a male. Male has special dispensation. It doesn't mean she's better than you. He has a special place to find to find the God that Adam lost. And that is longing. So you never were guilty because you were born into culture and culture got into you, so it's not your fault. So you have suffering all these years. Some people love to be a rotten bastard, and the other people want to be a good person, but they don't know where it is. And they seek and you shall find, knock and the door shall be open. That's a 7-minute meditation.
I've got another question. So it seems to me like there can be some dangers in what you allow in your brain, in your thought, and then it tends to manifest. If it's a good thing.
What are you saying about me? Or?
No, just about my experience.
Yes.
It seems to me that, and then I'll let you comment. It seems to me if I'm thinking something good, then maybe some good will manifest, or thinking something bad, maybe something bad will manifest. Like the bad attracts the bad, the good will attract the good. But at some point, it seems like something was missing there. Like maybe I shouldn't be, better to just kind of leave it empty and go with the intuition.
Yes, always. If you don't know, it's okay. If you feel, let's say somebody pressures you, right? And you react. You will rebel against that and you have a problem. You feel guilty for the anger. And the guilt for the anger may cause you to come back and do what they want, or hold on the anger, and so the next person does the pressure on you, and you keep suppressing the anger because you go, You got the anger, but you're going nowhere, and you're suppressing it, the guilt. See, and so this is so. Let me see if I can make sure and get it straight to the answer you've given to me in a pure sense.
It seems dangerous to manifest
Here it
in your
is.
mind, good, bad, or
No,
anything.
you don't.
Yeah.
Here it is. When you sense pressure, there's always a first time of sensing it, right? So you know what it is. Next time people start to pressure you, and they can do it friendly, but they're still pressuring you, right? They could cover it up, or they could.
Have a beer. There's only one beer.
Yes.
I don't want a beer.
No, thank you.
You're going to give me a problem.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
The answer is thank you, no, thank you. And well, come on, let's drink and be buddies. He just wants somebody to make him feel better. He wants someone to join him to make him feel better. And he's created another one like him. Right? So, no, thank you. You mean to say you won't take this diamond pendant? No, thank you. If you think it's a bribe, an obligation. But you will know if it's a present. Or sometimes, what I do, it's very rare, is somebody is giving me something which I know is going to obligate me. But I take it anyway, so when he comes to want something from me, I said, I thought you gave it to me. Well, I did. I said, well, thank you. And then the last words I don't say, which mean, now shut up.
Then he gets mad.
Now, that's where I start to feel the pull, Roy.
I don't feel the pull, I just
Yeah,
kick
I
his
do.
ass.
I start feeling I start to feel the anger, and it comes from here, from within. And so I never really noticed that before within myself.
It's good, just look
Yeah,
at
I
it,
guess
goes
it
away.
is.
And if you have a little anger, you need to say, stop, just a minute. Joey, can I talk to you a little bit? I felt an anger towards you. I don't want to apologize for that. You didn't see it.
Oh, I say, even if I feel shaky, my voice feels shaky.
Why not?
Okay.
Just say, look, you see me shaking? Say, why? He said, because I resented you just now. You did? Yes, I couldn't help it. I have to share it with you. What's wrong with that?
Okay. I think I need to do that.
Yeah.
All right. And just go around saying that until eventually maybe that'll just, okay.
Be honest.
Okay.
Maybe you can do it the next time you see him.
Mm-hmm.
See?
The little
But
things
the
that
idea of doing it the next time, honestly, it will come out at the right time.
That's so
You
amazing.
mustn't even make the
Okay.
timing. Mustn't make the timing.
Just
I'm going to do this on Sunday morning.
So, for example, my brother comes up and he starts spouting off about how great Hillary Clinton is or whatever, and then I can feel myself getting angry.
All you have to see is, what's his name?
Robert.
Hi, Robert. You're mentally ill. Does that bother you? It should. Why don't you see me doing this on radio?
You do, it's wonderful.
I call you mentally ill. I said, no, but let me just, no, I can continue on with an idea unless you have something to say.
They're great questions.
So now we're going to talk about the killing of the guilty, killing their spirit, not their body. And you do it in a way they can't see.
The entity.
Huh?
You're talking about killing the dark entity.
Yes, the dark end. That's what needs to be killed. Well, you don't really kill, you need to disabuse him. See them. And so the way you do it is nothing. You don't do anything. You don't respond to anything. You just say it like it is, or keep it as it is, till another day, which it is. We really don't know what that day is for you to be the is that kills it. All you have to do is be pure always. not touched by anything, not by people who take advantage, not anger by people who pump you up, make you feel like a good person. You discovered that. You see it. You can talk about it to them. You say, you know, I used to put you on a pedestal like you did just now. That was good. You let it go.
But isn't the killing of the entity God actually
It's not you.
redeeming? Yeah, is God
Oh.
redeeming the person that,
Well, it's
Or
a bit of an awkward question.
yeah.
It is an awkward question. If you do nothing right, you will do nothing wrong. Now you see how I said that. If you listen to the passage, and I could put a comma in a different place. If you do nothing right, you do nothing wrong. In other words, you don't have to do anything at all. You do nothing in a right way. In other words, you could do something. No, maybe that's not a very good way of saying it. But what I'm trying to say, you must not anticipate. You must not remunerate. How do you say something goes numerate? Goes round and round in your head. Ruminate.
Oh.
Ruminate. You must not ruminate what you're going to say, what you're going to do. You do not know what it is that is required of you, because it might be completely different when you get there. Mm-hmm. And you're blustering all over. Mm-hmm. So the only way you could see is of yourself. You cannot, your machinery is not to be controlled by the spoken word, by the authorities of the world. You have to transfer who and what you are as a citizen. Whether you're living in Germany or anything, you must be a little bit more careful. See, you can't really speak up the way you want to. They'll kill you right away, bang. So there's the places you need to get away from. But America is not a place you need to get away from. I may have to go for a while because I've got to keep my radio programs up and not be in jail. See? Because they're going to come after me first. You're dealing with communists now. You won't have America. They just opened the gates, the cell gates of 2,300 bona fide murderers, convicted murderers. Why? Well, the jails are full. No, they're going to be deputized. Mm-hmm. And they're going to be Obama's door-to-door boots in the night. And there's millions of that. There's other millions he's got going. He's got 15 SARs, and they don't do anything but build an army that you don't know about.
Well, I spent a lot of time in the Midwest, and I don't think that'll fly too well out there, because they're armed.
That's why we're going to have a civil war. You've got civil war plus enemies.
I mean, I know these people. They are, a lot of people are pure out there still.
I know, that's a good thing. But then they've got to be very careful. The good people need to be very careful, because the country has already been overtaken by a principle I've been talking about. And so it's the way you react. In other words, your reaction makes you a slave, no matter what it is. So let me give you an example. So 250,000 Christians have been murdered that day. Let's put it in one day. And the president hears it and goes and plays golf. Did he really intimidate you? Or, I mean, couldn't you see that's an intimidation? How could he do that? Reaction. He owns you. Now, not only owns you, if he doesn't own you, your psychiatrist owns you. If a psychiatrist doesn't own you, the doctor will own you, because slowly but surely you lose your energy and strength, and you will look to those people for help. And it's Obama medication, Obama this and Obama that. He's got all the wrong people giving you the wrong diagnosis and making you addicted to the drugs. It's going to make you sick. It's going to make you hate your wife. It's going to make you be upset with your children. It's all of that. Everything he doesn't do right. But he's innocent. And you can't speak up to him. And if you could speak up to him, you say, what's the matter with you? He'll just act like he's innocent. What's the problem? Nothing. Did I do anything to you? No. But you just did it to somebody else. But you can't say it because suddenly you've got a nice face and you can't say anything. He does it with a nice face. Mm-hmm. And people look at him. He walks away, plays a game of golf. 250,000 Christians dead. I'm exaggerating a bit because it's did over a period of time. But that's what he does, doesn't he?
A lot of people do that, Roy. My brother does that.
They do it to you.
Yeah, they do it.
But
I see it.
It's a technique
It
of
is.
upsetting you.
And it works with me, but it needs to stop working.
But you see, look how clever it is.
It is.
It wants to kill you. Mm-hmm. It wants to kill you, but it wants to kill you by making you a slave and draining your energies for their great power over you. That's what they do. They want to. It's a system of bullies.
Well, it's very serpent-like. It's very coy.
Serpent-like, yes.
Yeah.
See, because Jesus said it in a way that may surprise you because you've heard it and you probably just heard it. But listen to it now. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. What we are doing, now that's interesting. You could misconstrue that and do nice things, but to get some kind of feeling out of that. See that? You do something to get something. Love does something for nothing. The more you love, the more love you have to give. But if you have a false love, you have to do something to get something back, to give you a sense of power, a sense of wellness. But the other person has to get sicker. Then you come to their rescue. And you're not rescuing them. You're giving them a solution that makes them worse. And that's what politics does. They give you a solution. They give you a problem. And then it will give you the solution, but the solution is worse than the problem. And it is the problem. And then so they do it. So everybody is caught up in that. Is suddenly the country stops being civil. Slowly but surely, doing unto others what was done to you is creating a person doing unto others what was done to him. And it will go all the way from the top down until we're all slaves of him.
It's not far off, yeah.
I know every trick in the book. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about the tricks in the book. I just want to say, if you see how you're sitting there, if civil war was to break out, you wouldn't know what the hell to do. You're all scattered. You have one person standing up by himself, bang, he's gone. Mm-hmm. What we need is a country of people restored to their true religion. And after Washington, George Washington, that is your example. That is how you have to be an American. He was the first American, mm-hmm. wasn't he?
He was. Mm-hmm.
He was to thick and thin. And the Indians swore they had killed him several times. Never did it. He was killed by his physician. It's trigonometry, and something like that. They could have. Yeah. They killed him.
Yeah.
They bled him. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm. It's savage.
But it's not much different to the doctors today. All your doctors are going away.
Yeah.
All the doctors disappear, and all you're going to have is fake doctors. And they're going to kill you. They're going to misdiagnose you. Nearly all the diagnoses today are wrong.
You know, I didn't really realize that until you had brought that up. We get stuck on medication and whatnot. What happens if a war breaks out? Where are we going to get the medication from? All
You
these
die.
people, we're going to die.
I have diabetes. Will I die? No. I would take, what I would do is whatever is left, scraps, which I shouldn't eat. A little piece at a time. So I don't flood my body with carbohydrates. You can eat a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. Not too much at once. I'll be okay. I would eat an apple or whatever it is I could find. And just carefully divide it up into what I think is safe. And I really don't need any medication, but I take a Tylenol. And Tylenol is for heartbeat. And before he retired, I got new
Capillaries. Capillaries?
no, they're not capillaries.
Veins?
No, they're not there. Arteries. Yeah, arteries. You got me off on the wrong. I got 4 brand new arteries. The ones that they gave me on the operation failed. Brand new. How does this happen, doctor? He says, we don't know. But I do. Why me? Why me? What have I done or not done? I know. Let me tell you. Would you like to know why me?
Sure.
I have no emotion. When the doctor says, I've got good news and bad news, which one do you want? You heard me say that before.
Yes.
He says, your arteries, the operation didn't work. Oh. So what's the good news? You see, got new ones. But then I asked him, how come? He said, I don't know. But I got the answer. You want to hear it?
You said no emotion.
Yeah, but the reason is it grew
Yeah.
because I lived a perfect life.
You didn't get in the way of it.
No, I lived the perfect life.
Yeah.
The life of not being resentful of anything or upset
Yeah.
by anything.
Yeah.
That would upset anybody, wouldn't it? Right away, you
Yeah.
get a heart attack.
Yeah, sure.
So, here's the answer. They did a. This is a little. I don't know what to call it, but it's a little mischievous little story. It'll make you smile a little bit, I hope. So I read something about doctors taking pigs and clogging their arteries like humans. And of course they have 2 sets of pigs, one that's normal and one's not normal. And they put the one that's blocked up on the treadmill.
Yes.
And they made it run all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one they didn't.
Yeah.
The other one dies. The ones on the treadmill lived. They grew new arteries. Go figure it. Now, the reason why it doesn't work with human beings, I could put it in 3 words. Too poop to pop.
Yeah, hard as a muscle.
You haven't got the strength.
Yeah.
I had the strength to jump on the machine. But now it gets a better story. My worst enemy, my partner, when I actually created the first of Talk Radio Network.
Oh, I remember.
Yes, it's
I know who he was, yeah.
KPOP, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that one became 400 stations.
Mm-hmm.
I sold it for $9 million, but they only gave me $8 million, and my partner needed it. But I owned it. I gave all that money to the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
It's private.
Yeah.
Then we started Talk Radio Network and became the biggest in the country. But the point is, my partner, who was not a good person, a real bastard, right? I managed him, but he brought me a treadmill. I would never have thought of it. He gave it to me. It saved my life.
You didn't know that.
I would never have thought of it.
Yeah.
But in the course of things, it happens.
Yeah.
And was meant to happen.
Things appear.
You see, I'm only making a story here, and it's a story becomes a big story. It's a little thing. I'm suffering for years and years and years from parasites. They're coming out of me every now and then still. Comes out of my nose. I mean, there are creatures inside there. It's almost gone. Here I am still. See? But the story of your life changes because he's guiding it. And you cannot possibly grasp. You cannot invent. You know the best movies? Bible movies. Yeah. Because it's stories of real people listening or not listening to God.
Yeah, I remember I wanted to tell you about something I saw. It was a movie made about Jesus saving Mary Magdalene. It was a silent movie made in the 20s. And what you were talking about earlier, going in there and, pinpointing or laser killing the evil in a person, this video caught it perfectly.
Oh, that's interesting.
She was sitting there cooking, and Christ comes in there, and she gets caught up in his gaze, and it shows superimposed inside of her these entities that are shriveling up as he is looking at her, and then she becomes a beautiful child.
Yes.
In the end.
That's interesting, but the average man, when his wife's washing the dishes, if she's going to wash the dishes and not make him do it, and sees her little torso going backwards and forwards, it creates a love.
Yeah.
He should have a dog.
Yeah.
Because you can't be dogs copulating in an alley as people.
No.
You have to. There's got to be some consideration about these things. You just can't use people.
Well,
you can't use your wife.
With Christ, the women were his daughters. That's exactly
Well,
what.
it is nice to walk off into the sunset.
Yeah.
To end your life as father and daughter, just like it was in the beginning. Mm-hmm. See, so that you become friends. All that's past. You love the husband because he's helped save you from the dragon. Mm-hmm. Got it? Yeah. That's all we need. And then the last part of the Bible, the King James. Okay. And it says, "I shall send you the prophet of Elijah." He's not going to. He doesn't say, but it's Elijah kind of person. Mm-hmm. See, because you can't send him again. "I will send you the prophet, and he shall return the hearts of the children to the fathers, and the fathers' hearts to the children, lest I strike thee with a curse." Then in somewhere else it says in the Bible, Jesus says it later on, many years later. He says, "Think not that I have come to bring peace, but war, so that fathers will be at odds with their daughters. Daughters, it does.
Yeah, yeah.
It does. It's not for me to put it together again. You read it. He says it's to bring war, because you see, virtue does not come through the blood. It doesn't come through the blood. "Honor thy mother and father, the days may be long on that land the Lord thy giveth thee." And it goes on to visiting the iniquities, or projecting, there's a better word, projecting iniquities of the generations, the third and fourth generations. But loving those, something about giving.
The third and fourth generations that hate me, or something like that.
Yes,
I don't know all the words.
Loving
either.
those who love me, something like that. Redeeming. So it's not in the blood. It is in the soul. And there's a mystery. Mm-hmm. Some of them just want to hate the brother who has the redemption aspect of it. Yeah. And he doesn't understand it. Uh-huh. And they don't understand why they're a bunch of sons of bitches and bitches, right?
Yeah.
And they're never going to make it. Maybe they will. We don't know that. But we know that you know that you're innocent. And you wonder why your parents like the government, will give them those who give themselves to the government and reward them.
Mhm.
See that? And the variation of it is everywhere. But the politicians sitting on the doorstep of no-fault divorce, giving rights to women and not to men, so that children and the wives will rule over the father. That is, there comes a day when that happens, you see. It's all backwards. Everything, but it seems like the Marxists have grasped all of the wickedness of it and doing it in slowly but surely, because you can't conquer this country unless you can demoralize the people first. And my job is to remoralize, not because I have power, but because I can show you what they've done to you. And it's coming through your mother and father, because you come into a mother and father world. You come born into it. You haven't had a chance to. You into it, into the culture, and the culture is in the culture, or the country is in the boy. You could take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy. I'm in the business of taking the country out of the boy. And give you, it's the only way you can do that, is to give you who made your country, who made your universe. I just say a flower, a blade of grass. I see everything. I said, a blade of grass, how did it create itself? I mean, does it know it exists? And then I look at the mud and the dirt. It's got all the chemistry. And you can go back as far as you want. That's what I write about. And since I got to the root, I have got to the real root of how everything began, and you'll be astonished how simple it is. Anyway, I'm not going to give that away. They're beginning to, in BBC and in England, they're beginning to consider, is gravity a push? If it was, we could get all the energy we want. I've been saying that for 30 years and making it possible by knowing how it began. And if you know how it began, you know how to work with it. They don't even know, our scientists don't even know what it is. I do. I never had any education, don't want any education. Rebuke means to bring forth from within. You're not going to stuff stuff down me. Religion, anything. I want to discover it all for myself. And I want it to be given to me in the order that I need it. Even the order of my learning is important. Even what I just see is given to me. I could hear a baby cry. And suddenly I'm wondering, why am I thinking of a baby crying? I see a leaf fall. And it spins, the spinning ones. I remember the first time. That's interesting. What does it mean? When I put all those little memories together, which are all different from each other, it comes together as an epiphany. Each one of them doesn't mean much on its own. It's causing me to notice this, which doesn't seem to be in order. It's why this, why I got it 3. All of a sudden it all comes together. Epiphany. That's worth 1 million, billion words that couldn't even do it. So if you read your Bible, flick it. Don't read it. Don't study it. Don't put it into your memory. If it sticks, good. I see little pieces of me coming out of Bible. I understand it better than most people you're reading it all the time. They don't understand any of it. All they can do is recite it. But it lives through me. And as it lives through me, it's teaching my brain to obey and to trust. It's called faith. So I just don't let anything bother me, because nothing can, nothing will, because he's taken botheration away. He's taken my anger away. He's put himself in me. piece of himself. And my story. I don't know where the story's going to end. You know, because it looks like pretty bleak right now for me. But never mind, it's bleak. So what? I know it'll end somewhere. But I can't figure it. I don't want to figure it. I just wait.
I have one final question, and I consider you a wise man, so I'll ask, what do you say the purpose of all of this life is? What is the purpose of life?
Well, that's an interesting question. Is to use your life to stand up for what's right against wrong. There has to be a wrong for you to be right, correct? Yeah. That is the kind of thing that if you want to be strong, you have to do exercise. If you want to be right, you have to deal with temptation. If you want to be right as an animal, you have to not be eaten, but you do the eating. But that's all it is for them. But we eat each other, slowly but surely or quickly. So what you need to do is just find the thread. Find the thread which the meditation, the 7-minute meditation will bring you to that. And it doesn't feel like anything. It's almost like instructions to a house and you can't find. Turn right at Jerry Street. Turn left on Cuckoo Street. Okay? And if you just see that there's a little alley that goes by, there's a door there, go up and second floor, that's where you go. That is what the meditation does. It is a place, it's a direction to what being still is. And then knowing, oh, I'm in the right place. Otherwise you're in the wrong place. You will never find the right place unless you are guided to the right place by Him who made everything for a place to be. I'm never talking like this before, but a little bit different from my usual crap. I mean, the devil made me say that. Well, these 2 hours went by quickly, didn't it? You questions?
Beautiful, beautiful.
Happy?
Very much so. I'm always happy when truth has been exposed.
Well, see, truth is only my criticism. Mm-hmm. What's that word I say that I have I can't even find the word that replaces the word.
Chastise?
Yes, chastise, but yeah, chastise is a good word, but there's another sweet word.
Rebuke.
Rebuke. I keep forgetting it. It's such a beautiful word. I rebuke you that you might be pure. Mm-hmm. It's all in one. Rebuke. Get it in there. Thank you very much.
Happy belated birthday, Roy.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yours the same day?
No.
Oh,
My father's was, but you're a good replacement father.
thank you. You have all questions answered?
Till next time.
You going to be here for a while?
I think I'll be around for a little while.
Yes. Have you ever seen the big trees? I forget. I haven't been there for.
The redwoods.
Yeah.
Stunning.
It was just wow. It's just wonderful. It's like it's a different world.
Oh, yeah.
You should. It's only 40
The
miles.
energy
50
here
miles.
is much different than where I'm from. Everything grows, everything's alive. I can feel my body be, I don't know, I can feel it rejuvenating.
That's good. That's what it is. It's a regeneration. I'm a complete man. I've been taking pieces out of me for a long time. It comes back. But it's a long journey. Lots of pain, lots of suffering, lots of mistakes, lots of salvations, nick of time, life and death. It's always working for me. Always, when you least expect it, it comes to you. You think the person where everybody thinks it's all over. I don't think it's over at all. It's the pivot of my ability as a human to be able to go beyond what I've done, and beyond that moment. That's when it comes. That's when it comes. When you've done everything you can, and nothing, because you do everything.
Yeah, I do. So you're saying that God can even heal an injury that was done by a doctor?
Well,
It's
you can undress me and look at everything. You see everything's there. It's all been recovered.
It's amazing.
Everything. Regeneration. I'm a living example of it. And I'm 88 years old. You still don't want to mess with me, but I just want to say one more thing. I didn't finish the job. I've got to spend just 2 more minutes. It's killing it's just to sum up, killing the adversary's demon that they don't know they have. Don't react. You're reacting, you haven't found God. Mm-hmm. When you're not reacting, no matter what they say, what they do, what they surmise, what they judge, what they steal, they stole it. That's about it. But you don't go after it, in a sense. You don't get. Listen, I often give a story. There's a kid that likes the music. He's got this nice, used to be, player with all lots of features. And he comes home and he listens to the music. One day he comes in, but he uses the music as a distraction. He doesn't know this, he just loves music. That's how he feels. But when music's taking him away from seeing the problem. And so one day his house is broken in and everything's strewn all over the place, and he stole the...
Stereo.
Yes. What's it called?
Stereo.
Stereo. See, it's a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's stereo. So there's 2 ways you deal with it. Okay. Or get angry and get a better one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I feel relieved now. All of a sudden, you don't need it anymore. Let him have it. If a person takes your coat, give him your underwear as well.
That's in the Bible there. Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's all I had for the moment, if you don't mind me saying so.
Excuse. Yeah.
See, it is different. If he could just have that moment, saying, "Hey, big deal. Clean up a little bit, go on with your life. You can't get it back. But you keep getting it back by ruminating over and over and over again. Your childhood, right? Goodbye, childhood. Welcome, grown up. Okay. Every little thing. Watch your thoughts. They circle, they cyclic. And it'll come back in front of you. And you catch the one that's good. Oh, I understand that. It's in the Bible, yeah. Oh, I understand it isn't in the Bible. But then all of a sudden you see something else, which you've just justified. Something, oh, I see that. And then you're happy you see it. It's a bit painful, but you see it. Ah, that's all right. I'll go apologize to him. Or he's dead, you can't. There you go. And that's it. As simple as that. No more. And the first time you do that for yourself, as you do that, immediately somebody comes on and pisses you off. Excuse the expression. Tries to. You'll find that you're not reacting. Just like that. Because you listen to your first rule. Deal with yourself first. See? Recognize your own mistake. And it's only one little one. You see it, but if you deal with it right, it vanishes, it dissolves, it's going to lead to the next one, in the order, which you wouldn't put in, you wouldn't know the order. It will come up. But right there, if immediately someone comes to you and tries to bully you, you find yourself not reacting. And you find it's just bothering him. And he sees you're not easy to tease, He tries it again. And you stood there. Have you finished? And you don't get touched. He's like a leopard. If he doesn't catch the impala with the first 2 strikes, he dies from hunger. But in the spiritual fight, if you don't react, he reacts to your goodness. He gets upset with you for not upsetting you. He can't have his way. He can't eat you. He can't get inside you and destroy you and make you a slave. But instead, what gets inside you, your goodness that's standing there untouched, gets to him and awakens guilt, anger, but he can't touch you. And the only reason why he can't touch, if you ever see a bully, he does this, okay? You little worm, what do you want? See, are you a Jew? Yeah, I am. But what it is, he's going to intimidate you, right? And what does he want to do is destroy you and embolden himself and eat you a little bit and kill you. They're going to kill you slowly but surely, which you call mental illness and diseases of every kind that you mistreat the treat when you should have treated it. You treated it with understanding why you've got it. Cause and effect, effect becoming cause. All these illnesses are coming from one thing. You're not supposed to be ill. You should never be ill. You should not even get a cold. One more thing. You see a video advertisement on aspirin. There's a...
I remember that commercial.
What's the name?
Anacin or something like that?
No, it's not it.
Okay.
No, but anyway, it's a picture, it's a portrait of a woman being frustrated with the kids. So she could take the name of the aspirin. She takes
Bear aspirin.
No, it's not. It was a special commercial. I remember it, but I remembered it because it was so clever.
Yeah.
Because she take it. Oh, I wish I could remember the name of it.
I think it was Tylenol.
Can you give me the name of all the? Give me the name of the different aspirin.
Tylenol.
Excedrin. That's the one.
Okay. Oh,
It's
yeah.
an Excedrin.
Yeah.
You take an Excedrin, so you take it, and then you see the mother being patient with the children.
Yes.
The children are still being. She's not authority because she's not lost her authority because she got upset.
Yeah.
So the children get their own way, and therefore she gets upset again, and then she has to take the aspirin to take away the anxiety.
Yeah.
But she's beginning to becoming an addict.
Yeah.
And so after a while, it doesn't cure the problem; it only cures the symptom. But you're now the same old stupid person spoiling your kids.
Yeah, it's like the Malox
And they
moment.
won't- yes, you got me. Let me finish it then. See, so then you got a school teacher doing the same thing. He takes an Excedrin tablet, but the point is, you're beginning to rely on medicine, and it never stops. Because the problem is your reaction. You can't serve two masters. If you react to one, you cannot react to the other within you. No man can serve two masters. He responds to one and not the other. The response is to whom you give yourself. And in this case, there isn't response. And there isn't response is the war of the worlds. In other words, he's beaten, he can't bring you down, you're going to bring him down because the good will get inside and tear him to pieces. He doesn't know what to do. You see, when a bully comes up to you and pushes you and starts to sneer at you, and many times he will do it, and especially in moments where he wants to beat you up. You look at him like this. And he just pushes you a little bit. You look at him. But you not just look at him, there's something glowing, energy. He wants to test you to see to whom you belong. If you get upset, frightened, angry, he owns you. If you don't, you own him. He walks away. He leaves you alone. Or, with yours truly, when I was young, there were times for warfare. And I'm not exactly a jiu-jitsu expert, but I was good at it. And I never lost a fight I didn't start. It was seconds on the floor. That's it. I don't know how it came about. It was the same thing. My behaviors, my martial arts, which was not complete and never had any teacher. I had a book and the pictures. But the martial arts is natural. So natural you don't know you've done it. You could take the biggest guy, 250 pounds, 350 pounds in a minute. That's what I did every single time. But I don't remember doing it. It's the time stood still, and there he is. I even beat up my, in the military, the officer came in to the bathroom where there was a big bath there, and he just called me a dirty Jew. I whacked him so hard he went into the bath, and another officer came in and said, "What's going on here?" He said, "Oh, we're just having a conversation. I fell in the bath."
Too embarrassed.
Rescued.
Yeah.
I would have been court-martialed.
Yeah, you could have been.
Anyway, have fun, have a good life.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came. If we come next week, be nice.
I'll plan on that.
Try to that. Enjoy yourself around here. It's a nice... Oregon's a beautiful place. I haven't seen it, but they tell me so.